Over the past few months in my home gym, the Xero HFS has been my favorite training shoe. However, after a more thorough look at the Xero website, I actually think that there may be some even better options for my personal training. That being said, I'll be periodically getting in and trying out the various Xero options that'll fit my needs. The first shoe that I'll be taking a look at in this series of videos is going to be the Xero 360. Since I just recently got this shoe in, I'll only be able to give you my first impressions, and in this case, after my first handful of workouts with it. I do want to preface that I mainly just lift weights and focus on powerlifting movements and accessory lifts second. So you'll be getting an opinion from the perspective of an average gym goer, not a CrossFitter or someone who does Olympic lifts. First, let's take a look at the 360. The particular one that you are seeing is in the Lunar Rock colorway with gum soles. The Lunar Rock is sort of an off-white color, almost heading towards gray. When it comes to shoes, I'm pretty plain and typically buy all black shoes, but this shoe didn't come in all black, but just a black and white colorway, which I didn't particularly like, so I thought that this was the best available option in my personal opinion. The 360's upper is comprised up of a lot of mesh, which means that this is going to be an extremely breathable shoe and not exactly recommended for cold activities. Something that you may or may not be able to make out behind all of the mesh are the tensioning straps that run along the sides of the shoe. These tighten the main portions of the sides of the shoe tighter around your foot as you tighten the laces. This really helps you lock your foot inside of the shoe. Reinforcing at the toe box, heel, and eyelets is a suede-like material. This is a synthetic material as this shoe is 100% vegan. At the toe box, you'll see the rubber inlay lines, which Xero advertised as being helpful for stability and control when climbing a rope and scaling obstacles. I don't do those things, so I'll just have to take their word for it. Moving to the sole, we get a zero drop sole that's very minimal in both material and design. This is a very thin sole that lets you stand barely above the ground and allows you to really feel the surfaces that you are on. In my opinion, this is good for weightlifting because this means that a user is able to transfer all the forces while pushing directly into the ground and not have to worry about excess cushioning messing with that or contributing to an unstable lifting surface. I actually really like this sole. It's basically just a thin sheet of rubber with some grooves cut into it, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Again, at this point, I've only used this shoe for a handful of workouts, but that is enough for me to say that this is better than my previously favorite training shoe, the Xero HFS. First of all, fitment with this shoe is just more comfortable for me. The HFS just seems to be a more narrow shoe all around, so in general, the increase in comfort was immediately felt by me. But that doesn't mean that this shoe is loose because again, the 360 has those tensioning straps running along the sides of the shoe that you can really use to just lock your feet into place. The main difference for me in terms of training is going to come from the sole. I previously praised the HFS's sole for being very minimal, but it still has some pronounced and separated lugs. Compared to the 360, the HFS looks and feels like a hiking boot. The 360's approach to a minimalistic sole just takes it to a whole nother level. Now me personally, for weightlifting, if I can just get a plain sheet of rubber with some minor texture for the sole to help prevent slipping, I take that, but until then, the 360 comes pretty close. Its tread pattern is very close to each other and it's just not very pronounced, which is exactly what I'm looking for. To me, the sole is everything when it comes to a training shoe, and this is pretty close to perfect. Moving forward, I'll be wearing this shoe almost exclusively, so that tells you how much I like the silhouette. I'll make sure to put a ton more workouts into the 360, and hopefully in the future I'll come back with a more thorough and in-depth review of it. But until then, I hope this video has helped you out. If it did, I'd appreciate if you can give the video a thumbs up, share it around, comment down below with any thoughts or questions that you may have. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content. And if you want to further support my work, consider hitting the join button down below to become a member of this channel or become a patron on Patron. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.